Welcome to what will be a thrilling ride through the vibrant universe of the craft beer scene. In today's Sipisode of Body by Beer podcast, we will be diving deep into the Ayurveda world at Someplace Else Brewing. Here we are!
Thanks
we are
for
here!
having us.
Thank you for having us. Where the echo of pinball machines blends seamlessly with the clunk of beer glasses, giving a nice, lovely cheers, and where every brew tells a lovely story and a lovely tale.
That's right. We're going to talk about secrets behind the perfect pour, journey through the rich diversity that's reshaping the beer industry, and celebrate the culinary artistry that pairs craft beers with gourmet bites. This episode isn't just about beer. It's about the pioneers like Benny Ashburn, Teo Hunter of Crowns and Hops, who are fermenting a revolution, and the culinary wizards right here in Denver like Chef Jared Kendall, who artfully blends beer and food pairings.
Which is all we want in the world, really. Is
Really.
just great beer and great food.
Great beer, great food.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's get into it. First, we're going to start off on our culinary journey with the Ale Academy.
Let's do it.
Have you ever wondered why your beer never tastes quite the same as it does in a brewery or a pub? The secret just might be the pour itself. So let's discuss the art of pouring beer.
Let's do it.
If you are not a bartender, you may not know all of the little fun things that happen when you pour beer. It's fantastic. So you're going to begin. You're going to tilt this sucker. I can't quite do it at a 45 because it's too full. I should fix that problem and drink more. You're going to slowly pour the beer down the side of the glass. As you reach the midway point, you'll gradually start to straighten it back out, allowing for a creamy head to form. In this technique, the more head on the beer is going to give you more aroma. You're going to get more of the smells and the different ingredients and flavors. And obviously, like, smell is a huge piece of your tasting experience. So you want to get that in there. So you want to a good head, a good inch or two head on your beer. Like, it's not cheapening your beer by any means. You're not missing out on your whole extra tiny bit of an ounce of beer, if even that much. Like, it actually makes the beer so much better.
That's right. We'll probably have a whole segment and go over to cohesion or...
Ooh, that'd be fun.
Yeah, get some Czech-style pours going on. But there are certain beers, specifically like nitros, that benefit from a hard pour.
Yep.
So crack that sucker open, drop it right down the middle.
Even on the tap, it's going to be straight down the middle.
That's right. So that method involves pouring the beer directly into the center of the glass from a higher distance rather than doing that whole tilting motion.
Yeah.
It's more of an aggressive style of pouring. It's a thicker head. It enhances the beer's aroma and the flavor. Nitro beers.
Creaminess.
Yeah, creaminess. Known for their smooth and creamy texture, particularly thrive in this approach.
Yeah.
And it activates the nitrogen, creating a cascading effect, right? It funnels down to the glass and a fuller sensory experience.
Yeah. And speaking of it funneling down the glass, you got to have the right glassware.
That's right.
Got to have the right glass. A lot of people, I'm sure you've seen the standard kind of pint glass look. They're classic. They're hearty. They're meant to be drank and slammed back down. But you can have the finesses of these other different styles. Maybe you don't know about. You have snifters. You have tumblers. You've got tall Pilsner glasses. You've got IPAs. And they all have different shapes and techniques that allow different aspects of the beer to shine based on the glass you put it in.
That's right. And it's really about that mastering the art of the pour and understanding the significance of these glasswares. That's essential for any beer lover and or enthusiast. Doesn't matter where you're at on your journey. It's either that gentle tilt for a smooth pour or choosing the right glass to enhance the beer's aroma and appearance, different techniques, different drinking experience. Sometimes ordinary, sometimes extraordinary. It really just depends on what you're looking at that day.
It's going to all change. You wouldn't think that just a little piece of glass would do so much, but it totally changes the entire experience. For better or worse, I guess.
For better or worse. Hey.
All right, well, that is it for Ale Academy this week, powered by our amazing partners at the Micro Beer of the Month. I can't wait to get my next one. Should be coming in here pretty soon.
Oh, yeah.
They put a lot of work in making sure that good beers are selected, so you don't have to stress and worry about picking a good one.
That's right.
Feel free to, click that link. The affiliate link is at the very, very bottom, and it's a great way to support us.
That's
we
right.
really appreciate it.
That's right. It's partnerships like those that help all the support in the world. So we thank you, and we thank them for joining us on this adventure as well.
Thank you. And with that, we shall wiggle into the brew news jiggle.
Okay. We did it.
Welcome to our Valentine's Day edition of Brew News.
That's right.
Where love meets diversity and culinary delight in the craft beer world. Today, we're going to spotlight Crowns and Hops from Inglewood, California, a trailblazing brewery led by Benny Ashburn and Theo Hunter, who are shaking up the industry with their commitment to diversity and inclusion. Plus, dive into Denver's food scene with old chef Jared Kendall, whose beer dinners marry local flavors and ingredients into a culinary taste bud delight.
Oh, delight. But first and foremost, happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Today is February 14th, 2024. Happy Valentine's Day. We are toasting to love, laughter, and the perfect pour. So whether you got a sweetheart you're snuggling up to or you're solo with a stout, I do recommend a stout. We're here to add a little fizz to your festivities. So again, happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day. All right, disruptors of the craft beer space, Crowns and Hops out of Inglewood, California, led by Benny Ashburn and Theo Hunter, are revolutionizing the craft beer industry by emphasizing diversity and inclusion. With backgrounds in marketing and creative production, they built a brand that champions racial equality.
Yeah.
And showcases that black and brown communities have a significant place in the beer culture, from their initial movement of Black People Love Beer to the establishment of Crowns and Hops. They foster a community of engagement and conversation in around diversity in craft beer, challenging industry norms and advocating for a broader representation. And
super awesome.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about this numerous times over. Is like in a plateauing industry, just because it has, you can only have so much. The easiest way is to get more inclusive. There's a lot of communities out there that aren't necessarily have easy access into the craft beer space or have a lot of knowledge or feel comfortable joining, and that's what we're here trying to do, is help kind of break down some of those barriers and bring more people into this beautiful world, because it really is a fantastic community and the people that are in it love it, and we want more. We want more. We don't want to see this plateauing. And I can't wait to see as more diversity comes in, like what else appears. Like, man, it's going to be beautiful. Beautiful thing.
It already is a beautiful thing.
It is, yeah.
All right, we're going to drop back into Denver and talk about Chef Jared Kendall. If you haven't already expanded your palate into the beer and pairing world of beer and food delight, Denver Chef Jared Kendall might be dialing down his popular beer dinners to bi-weekly events. Okay. Sad. But he's still partnering with top breweries to serve local, seasonal dishes paired with craft beers.
Yeah, man.
So who is he? He's known for creating a super unique dining experience, and his dinners are a hit among food and beer enthusiasts. His journey, very briefly, starts from like a family taught cook to a celebrated beer dinner chef, showcasing his dedication to exploring and defining Colorado's culinary identity through these pairings. Cool. If you're interested, you can find him at Thistle and Mint. Just look him up online. The Westward article is included in the description below. So check it out. Look for him. And yeah. Yeah.
What's better than great food and great beer,
Again,
Like, and I feel like it's an opportunity often overlooked. People think of food pairing with wine, and it doesn't need to be that way. Beer and food also go together really, really well.
All right, welcome back to Optimistic Inquiries today. We're going to dive into the world of brewery tours as we sit in the lovely Someplace Else Brewery here in Arvada. Gone are the days of the straightforward, free peek behind the scenes. Now breweries are upping the ante, turning tours into immersive experiences, complete with souvenirs, sometimes with a branded pint, and complimentary beer to enjoy, which is pretty exciting.
Yeah, I think it's great. A brewery tour is your customer's golden ticket to the heart of what you're all about.
Amen.
And like where all the beer magic happens, you know what I mean? Like, people love it. End of the day, people love a tour. You know, it's not just walk through, it's education. It allows you to really tell your tale of like what you're doing and why. A busy night, you can't expect your bartenders to be able to drop every little bit of knowledge, but people that really want to have a full-blown immersive experience, tour is a great way to do it. And, it's a great way to share your passion and why you started up a brewery in the first place.
Exactly. And I think a big question that comes up is, so what is a purchased brewery tour? What does that mean? If I'm not just letting them in the back, what are we having? So, I'm sorry. I'm talking about how to find that brewery tour. Not purchasing it, but how do you find it? So
I was like, you're purchasing a ticket. I get it.
Yeah, that's fine. How do you find these? So these expedition of tours should be as easy as tapping on your phone. Boop, boop. Customers can start with a quick search online, boop, boop. Or head straight to your brewery's website. Yeah. Oh my gosh, it's a beautiful landing page. Social media, let's not forget about that. It is a year outside of dark bloggers, a year of the digital marketing age. So make sure you're up to date on your social media platforms because they are the platform for tour announcements and event pages. You know what I mean? What's going on? Yeah.
I mean, the promotion's huge, right? Especially if you're going to be charging for them. And there's kind of a piece that I think brewers did more tours more often, and then hard to have staff for it. It's really hard to do a free tour. And I'm not saying like every place is different that you can't like pull that off. I definitely think that's very doable, but it's also a great way to bring in a couple extra bucks and at least I feel like where it kind of became a struggle is if you're a brewery that has one bartender on or two, if all of a sudden, one, if you only have one, you can't give tours. That's just out of the window. Or if you have two and you get slammed, you're kind of screwed. So instead promote it, actually bring some money in for it. You brought up, use social media, use newsletters, get your regulars, get your mud clubbers excited, get everyone talking about it, make it an actual unique experience and not just walking through and being like, here's another tank and here's another tank. Really get into your passion and your stories and people will love that and appreciate it. And the promotion will continue to do on itself because people love talking about what they felt a connection in.
Absolutely. So they bought into it, your customers are digging it, so now you're like, well, what do I charge? What do I do? So that's going to vary, right? It depends on what all you're going to go through. Like, what swag are you giving away? How many beers are you offering with that tour, right? So I think typically what I've seen is anywhere from $10 to $30. Okay. Again, depends on what you're giving away. So
30's high.
Yeah, that's a little high, right? But if maybe there's a shirt involved, or maybe it's a couple beers and a pint glass. You never know, right? Yeah.
It's a good opportunity for an upcharge.
Absolutely.
And they're right of hey, you can do just a tour for $5-10, but if you also want a shirt, then it's $20. So you're getting a discounted shirt, but you're also doubling up on what people are paying. There's some perks there. I think there's ways to get some good upsell.
Right. And remember, it's not just about the tour, right? People are here for the experience, right? Yeah. And it's about creating that memory and supporting the craft beer community. So.
Yeah. That's what it's all about.
Keep that in mind.
Yeah, and having people sign up. There's some really great automation ways you can do this, generally using your website. Keep it simple, keep it straightforward. You also want to be able to have people be able to sign up in person. It's kind of a tough balance, but at the same time, I can understand where some people would be really discouraged if they could just sign up on a piece of paper right then and there versus I don't know, go to your phone and do this and have both options. Yeah. And then have multiple options, right? Make it easy. That's the end of the day. Got to make it easy on people. Don't make it hard to give you money. That's the worst. I just want to give you my money. I just want to give you my money. Please. Stop making it so hard. Yeah. So let's make it easy. Give some options. Have some things in-house that you can do. Have some stuff online. Have a simple form. Take the money right then and there. You don't want to have them pay in person. One that just adds an extra step. And it allows people to flake out. Once they've paid, they're less likely to flake. So,
or if they do, well, you got paid.
Yeah, you got paid. So there you go.
I think that's the gym membership motto anyway. Something like that. All right.
Make the beer world like the gym world.
Well, I just know what I'm saying. I know. You can still get paid. But end of the day, important thing here is that brewery tours, it's happening. They're happening. They've always been happening. There's multiple opportunities here. And it's more than just a glimpse behind the scene, right? It's that experience. It's that memory. It's an invitation to connect with craft beer on a deeper level, to learn, to taste, and to walk away with something more than maybe just a little buzz, right? They're taking a lot more away from that. It's a richer appreciation for the art and the science behind brewing. Yeah, make that part of your jam. And if it's not your jam, then maybe you don't force feed tours if that's just not your jam. Yeah. And that's okay.
There's places that are just there to do beer, but if you want to like make an experience, like it makes it a lot easier to start making everything more about an experience when you have more things.
Yeah. Exactly.
That all feed into that same mission. So
very well said.
That's cool stuff. All right. So right now we're going to go into our main segment that we did earlier today. Yeah. That was an incredible conversation with the owner, co-owner of Someplace Else Brewery. Man, with Tori, she was incredible. Such a fun interview. Such an incredible woman.
Could have talked to her all day.
Could have talked to her all day. Like, if I wasn't already itching, wishing I had my own brewery, she's just doing so many things that I'm like, I love every aspect of what you're doing and just very inspiring. So hopefully you appreciate that interview. We're going to do a walkthrough, and it is happening right now. Right now. Right now. Right now.
So, Tori, tell us about yourself and what's your title here?
Tori Miller, awesome. Native of Colorado, born and raised right over here. Wheat Ridge farmer, the whole left. Went to school, came back, met Ryan, and we got into this. I am jack of all trades. No, technically depends on which form is being asked, but owner, president,
CEO,
head honcho, boss of everybody. Yeah.
Right on. Can you share the story of how your passion for brewing and a hobby turned into what is known as Someplace Else Brewery?
Like I said, it's Ryan's fault. No.
Yeah.
We actually argue about this all the time. He's like, "You're the one." No, you're the one, and we discussed it more. I think he planted the seed. We go to breweries, and I have a business background. He has the mechanical. He had, when I first met him about 13 years ago, he was starting to collect pinball machines. And then at our house, he started home brewing.
Okay.
And so there was both of those. And the joke is, I told him, you need to get these someplace else. That's not the real name. The name comes from, he used to play pinball all the time as a kid in Grand Rapids at a place called Someplace Else Arcade. So that's where the name comes from.
What's your favorite part of your own setup? You go ahead. Example, items, location, the brew house.
The community that we've been able to build here. It's changed. This is all open now, but before, it's hard to describe unless you saw it, but it was a little more closed in, so it was cozy. The community's helped build this place. It started very bare, and the location's been difficult in that it's hard to find, but at the same time, I think that brings that sense of the neighborhood, the community, like this is ours.
What inspired the brew arcade concept, I guess, combining craft beer and pinball, skee ball? I guess we kind of heard a little bit more on that.
It's because we had them. Like I said, pinball was Ryan's passion.
Sure.
And when I met him and I jumped in on that, I hadn't really played a little pinball as a kid, but when he started getting the machines, our first two were Black Knight and Secret Service, which is not here. Neither one of them are here, but I got into it, and that was kind of the unique part of it. Was there wasn't really any other brewery, definitely not in Arvada. Wonderland was one of the few breweries that actually had pinball machines, and back then, it's grown a lot since then, but it was like, well, why not?
Yeah, why not?
And then, like I said, his home brewing, I enjoyed beer more so than anything else.
Sure.
And so wine seems like a great business opportunity to me.
Beer, business, games.
Right?
I dig it. Yeah. Dig it. What about, how do you feel this sets you apart then in what could be argued as a saturated market?
That's what's so cool about it is every brewery has its own vibe.
It really does.
And we just create our own vibe. Just like, I know when we get in there, you'll see the Star Wars, and that was not our intent. That just happened.
Yeah.
You'll see the figures up above. I'm a Star Wars fan, of course, it's my favorite. Ryan was Star Trek and Star Wars. And so we just threw a couple up there, Darth and the Stormtrooper, whatever, to hide. But it was never our intent to make this, like, if you look at the business plan, it was never, let's make it a Star Wars theme.
Right.
And it just grew because people were into it, and they brought the stuff in. And the artists that did the mural up here.
Yeah.
She offered to do that. That was not something we went out and said, hey, will you please do this for us? She offered. The games that we have in terms of, we have some of the old school versus a lot of places have a lot of the new stuff. We have collected, all the machines are ours. Okay. So we own everything, and so we've made quite a collection of a lot of the little bit older stuff. So that part of it.
Did Ryan build these as well? That's a bonus
actually,
question.
That was regulars.
That's so cool.
It's not. It wasn't. It just seems like it would
community.
be Ryan, but no. Some of the regulars like, hey, could we do this for you? Sure.
So cool.
Yeah. How big of a beer tab do you want?
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
So
mural is winning
exactly.
currently.
Right. So
very good.
Definitely just bringing in. That's what I said. It's a community effort here.
What figures in the craft brew space or beyond would have inspired you in your journey?
People were very helpful. Laura at Factotum helped us a lot. Rick over at Riccoli's, just kind of walking around, getting to know them as we were kind of researching just the ideas that we got, and just the community that came up from it. Was a lot of what just was like, hey, this is what, we can do this.
You were at a 5-barrel system, but now you've just put in a 10. So, right? Do I have that right?
Yeah.
5 to 10 system with a focus on a diverse flagship selection. How do you approach your brewing process?
Part of it is trying to provide that thinking about what can we do to provide that broader range of beers that will bring, a lot of people like different things. And then just from our Friday releases, I know we said we'd go into that, but what seems to be a hit? What seems to really be selling well that people are really responding to? So you kind of create that broad range, and we kind of go with what is selling. I mean, the numbers really are what help dictate what direction we want to go, and that's what the beauty of the R&D or the Friday release is. It helps say, okay, this kind of didn't go so well, this one really did. People are really, and of course you hear the market, what they say, you research the market, hear what's going on in the market and so forth, but honestly it's what our sales dictate.
Tell us more about the weekly small batch R&D.
So it kind of got started from our previous brewer, Alex, and he is such an amazing brewer, and he just loved brewing and wanting to try things. And so we're like, hey, let's start this. And it's been going on since, I want to say we started in 2018. So it's been going for a long time that we've done this. And a lot of it was inspired by what he just kind of entered into his head, a whim, and he's like, hey, I'd love to try this yeast. Like, there's this new Quebec yeast. Let's see what that does. Or we've never tried a milkshake, or, what's the in thing, or it's what customer might throw out, or it's Porter month or February Stout month. So let's figure out what different stouts we want to do. So there's no rhyme or reason. It's more just what feedback from customers, what kind of pops into our head, reading about something, and you're like, oh, and I'm like, oh, I've never, like, I brewed a guava IPA because we've never tried guava. So let's try guava.
Absolutely.
See what happens.
Are there any new projects that you can tell us about?
I would say the one thing that hopefully we can get to once the bigger construction and the new pinball and everything, and we get that space cleared up from a brewing perspective, we'd like to dive back into a little bit of the non-alcoholic beer.
Awesome.
Yeah. We were doing a little bit we had a brewer, Shane, who was started to go down that path, and then just, one thing, this, that, and the other. So that would be, I say, the one thing that we're hoping that we can get back into trying that a little bit.
Do you have a personal favorite or one that stands out to you most, and why?
My favorite is the Mexican lager, which currently is not on. Fortunately, we have the Mexican lime in its place right now. And like I said, we mix beers, so Mexican mixed with raspberry. The two that are top sellers, which I kind of talk about, is the Spock's Brain, which was Alex's creation, and he just did a couple small releases of it.
Okay.
And then kind of changed it as it went till it got to its final spot. And that's kind of what that Friday release is for also, is to try that out. And same thing with the raspberry. That was Ryan, and he tried one and he tried a different recipe, and then kind of combined the two. So again, it's that idea of just taking our beers and always trying to see, can we tweak this, do that, make it even better.
Tell me about, as a woman, co-founding a brewery in a predominantly male industry, what's the biggest challenges you faced?
To be quite honest about it, I when I see a challenge, it has nothing to do with being a male dominant. I just do it, and I don't think about that. Ryan and I just get together, we just go for it. Same from the very beginning. I didn't stop and think, I'm entering a male-dominated industry. Like, that never occurred to me at all. I just was like, I want to do it, I'm going to do it. So I would say, though, in the process over the years, I have noticed, my voice will be overlooked, if you will, versus someone else, for sure. My response to that is, show them actions speak louder than words, so just go do it and see what happens and let the rest speak for itself.
You're definitely like a real go-getter, right? You're going to do it, actions speak louder than words. I love that, I respect that. Thank you. The world needs more people like you, and not just women. What changes have you seen in the craft industry regarding diversity and the representation of women since you started?
I would see that Calissa's huge up at Gold Spot. If there's someone you can, and not just with the female community, but the LGBTQ community also, but more women on the brewing side. That, I think, is where I'm starting to see. Of course, Karen over at Holidaily. Yeah. Just seeing, but not so much on the behind the bar side and the business side. Seeing more women over on the brewing side, slowly but surely. And I taught up at Regis for the craft beer program, and seeing some of the women in there, and knowing that they were going to try and get their fingers and their part in all that. So definitely needs to be more. Yeah. Love to see more of it, and when we try to hire, down the road, if would love to see that.
What advice then would you give other women working to enter the craft beer industry?
Well, for anybody, especially the back of the house, be willing to get in there and do whatever needs to get done. Cellar work, people often think, I want to be assistant brewer, and jump right into the brewing, and there's so much more to it. So have that mindset, knowing that if you're going to go in there, you're going to be lifting kegs, you're going to be moving, you're going to be taking grain bags and pouring them in things, you're going to get splashed with water, you're going to have to do this, that, and the other. That's part of it. If that appeals to you, then just like, go to a brewery and say, hey, I am new, I get that, I don't have a lot of background in it, but I am willing to learn and do whatever it takes. That is going to be the key factor, is just showing that you have that determination and the hard work ethic.
So what's your favorite aspect then of the craft beer industry?
Not just like the community here at our brewery, but in the whole brewing community. Yeah.
Thanks for talking
amazing.
With us. Yeah, it's so cool.
It's so amazing. I can call up Chris over at Odyssey and say, hey, what are you doing for this? Or can you help me out with this? And he's right in there. And when we were first opening up, we'd go around and people would literally open up their books to us. Like, who does that in a business? And say, yeah, this is how much we brewed, or whatever. Or this is, people share recipes. There's collaborations all the time. And just that lack of that intense competition is wonderful. How do you
balance then the creative aspects of brewing and then running a brew arcade with the business side of things, especially starting off on that shoestring budget?
Being creative in the setting this place up, like we were talking about with the container, is okay. So we can't go out and buy a $5,000 cooler refrigerating system. What else is there out there? And that's where Ryan comes in and is like, okay, well, I've got this amazing mechanical background. I'm going to take this air conditioner and find this other thing and make it work. So just looking outside the box and saying, what can we do differently? How can we still find things that are new? Because that's definitely, you feel the need to try new things, bring new things, but yet still keep a consistency, obviously from business perspective, customers, but what's the next new thing to try? And
what about any future plans you could share with us that you have for Someplace Else?
Getting the pinball room finished is obviously the first on the agenda here. Hopefully the next month or two we'll have that kind of under our belt and finalized to an extent. I mean, you're never done. We know that. You're just never done. But to where we can open it up, people are coming, we're enjoying that, and then finding another location.
Oh, all right.
Don't know where. Okay. We'll, like we said, ride the wave. Someplace. We will find someplace.
It'll be someplace there.
Too. Someplace there, someplace here. Some goings.
So we kind of touched on it, but how do you plan to continue innovating and keeping things fresh for your customers, especially with the R&D program, the small batch?
Being willing to be innovative. I think that's the biggest thing, is like keeping an open mind and being willing to hear what's going on in the industry, and again deciding, does that work for us, and how do we get more ideas? Like I said, Lindsay is a big help in that. She's like, well, what if we put a suggestion? Just always being willing. Ryan, always from more on the technical brewing side of it. Well, how I want to test these different yeasts. So. Sure. Reading and hearing about something and saying, oh, well, yeah, that seems like something we want to focus on a little bit more. We've heard about that, but haven't. The NA, same thing. Like, what's going on the market that sounds intriguing to us. So just being open-minded.
Final question. What are you most excited about for this year then? With all of that going on, what is the most exciting?
That arcade.
Okay, yeah, absolutely.
That arcade. I am so excited just to see that we have the more space, people being able to come in and enjoy it, decorating. I'm not a great visual artistic person. That is, give me a spreadsheet, I'll do all kinds of things with it. But
I knew I liked
you. Exactly. Give me a room with blank walls, I'm like, I don't know. So and that's what happened with this, and it will come together, and just that exciting thing of talking about ideas and things coming up and what can we do and how are we going to do it, and so just continue. Like I said, we'll get it open, but that's not it. I mean, there's going to be constant, what artwork, what can we do over here, what can we add to this, that I'm looking forward to just spending the year doing that. So
awesome.
For sure.
Love it. Yeah. Oh my gosh, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
That was great. I love that.
Thanks.
Crushed it.
So as we close up the taps on today's incredible conversation, which are so much fun. Oh my God! In Someplace Else Brewery, we're left inspired, and the journey that I don't know what that word is.
Bends the joy.
Bends?
Well, it's a
Bohens?
It's a typo.
Oh, okay. So it's not that I can't read the word; it's a typo. You can't
replace it with another word.
Well, half the time I just don't know what words you're putting in there. They're so fancy. Anyways, the joys of making your passions. Like, if this place isn't just the epitome of all your passions coming together,
so cool.
From why they even got started to how they brew weekly, like beers, to how they start their mud club and interact with their guests on the regular basis. It's just beautiful.
Regularly.
Like, I feel like this place is the epitome of everything we preach on this show.
100%.
How to be that neighborhood brewery that, maybe isn't the place to, sell out and become a bajillionaire off of. But
I mean, she said
they're
she was
doing
opening up
pretty fucking good, right? Like, it's a love story.
Yeah.
It's a Valentine's Day love story.
And that's why we're here.
Oh. It's beautiful. Loved it so much. So much fun.
Such a good story. I do want to carve in here. If there are women out there that are aspiring to make their own path in the craft beer world, like, listen to Tori's story.
Yep.
Listen to what she has to say.
Come talk with her.
Like, come in, have a beer. She loves grabbing a drink. She loves pinball. I mean, play a game with the lady.
Yeah.
It's truly a testament to perseverance, vision, and the importance of creating something that brings people together, and joy and appreciation. That's right.
So good.
So come on down to Someplace Else Brewery. Come in, say hello, and check out their innovative new beers and experiences. And
Friday releases.
Yeah, we can't wait for the next chapter in their journey.
So
Super
good.
exciting.
Can't wait to keep an eye on them.
So exciting.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
All right, wait.
Sips of wisdom.
Sips of wisdom, y'all.
Sips of wisdom.
I choked on my beer a little bit when I tried to say that.
Ooh.
So it came out as sips of wisdom.
Sips of wisdom.
That was almost really cool. Shoot dang. Sips of wisdom.
All
Let's
right,
go.
Let's do it. Today we're going to discover how People's Brewing Company became a beacon of racial and economic empowerment, and how White Lion Brewing found its way in the history and community to its craft, and will uncover the ancient festive origins of Valentine's Day.
Ooh.
So let's get excited about that.
Beer and love.
Beer and love.
Beer and love.
Not just another Tuesday.
Not just beer goggles. Beer and
Because
love.
it's not a real thing.
Did you know the first, one of the first black-owned breweries in the United States was People's Brewing Company in 1970. Wisconsin's first black-owned brewery, one of the first in the U.S. I feel like that kind of gets convoluted here and there.
As does many things.
Yeah, as does many things of history. Strange, you wouldn't think it'd be so confusing, but it is.
Writing things down is hard sometimes,
Fair.
especially when people can't read your typo.
Oh, yeah, fair. See what you did there. They started this and they aim to empower the black community through ownership and representation in the brewing space.
Yeah.
They faced a ton of challenges, lots of challenges, and unfortunately they only made it 2 years, and they are still like a beacon of progressive change in the space. Like I think they had like some crazy story where like their original cans were selling for like thousands of dollars, like unopened people's cans of beer. Really cool. Is it in museums? Like
that's where I got this article from. It was from the Brews Association. They were checking out some of the cans that went into the museum.
Yeah. So Theodore Ted Mack was their goal was to offer beer, some symbolizing in a racial economic empowerment for the black community. And despite his innovative vision, they just had a lot of obstacles. They didn't make it through it, and they had backlash. And closed down in 1972.
Yeah.
So, too bad. It's not a great story, but I mean, they led the way, and they were a pioneer. It's 100%. Unfortunate that it feels like one of those stories that should still be around. It should be a place that people that love the craft beer space want to go to, and unfortunately just didn't make it.
We're going to talk about White Lion Brewing Company next. Did you know that they were established in 2014 by a gentleman named Raymond Berry Jr.? And not only is White Lion Brewing Company Springfield, Massachusetts' first beer brand, but it was black-owned as well.
So cool.
So it also ties back to the city's role in the Underground Railroad, which is pretty cool. And then the name itself is inspired by African folklore. It symbolizes prosperity. White Lion symbolizes prosperity and the aims to uplift the community and craft brewing industry, especially amongst the black and brown people. Especially amongst black and brown people. That sounded really weird. But anyway, pretty super cool story. I guess, so they're right on Main Street.
Okay.
And there's an old Methodist church, and that is the place that ties that Underground Railroad story together.
Cool.
They believe that was one of the stops on the Underground Railroad.
Wow.
Yep.
That's powerful.
Pretty cool.
I have a less powerful fun fact about that fun fact.
Yes.
Did you know that The Simpsons uses Springfield as the name of the town because like every state has a Springfield and you don't know what state they actually live in?
I did not know that, but I like that. Probably Springfield, Illinois.
Probably. But
They seem like Illinoisans.
they do. They do.
I don't know what that means, but yeah.
All right, well, that's my extra fun fact. That's all you get for free, guys.
Bonus fun fact.
Bonus fun fact.
Yeah.
So through a lot of research on our own here, and trying to discover more and more about the beer space and the history of beer, is Valentine's Day in beer history, which is surprising to say the least, because it is fairly unintertwined.
Unintertwined is the right way to say that.
There is not a lot.
Basically, they drank beer. Maybe. Probably.
Maybe. Like, the whole story of Valentine's Day doesn't have a strong history. When we talk about, like, you wouldn't think history would be so hard, there is not a, like, agreed upon singular story of Valentine's. There's a lot of, like, crossover aspects of story. There's a lot of theories behind the story. But there isn't like a singular specific one. So
here's all we can tell you.
So, yeah. There's a lot of build up into a maybe fact kind of story of beer and Valentine's Day. Is that in the theories it was believed to have originated at a Roman festival of Lupercalia. I lost it. I was rolling.
Lupercalia?
Oh. Leah, all right, of Lupercalia, which is held in mid-February. This ancient festival celebrated fertility and included various rites and matchmaking lotteries to pair men and women together, and they're most likely served beer.
Yeah.
Another story that I heard was actually a beheaded priest who, I'm trying to think of how exactly the story went, but basically he would secretively marry, and his name was Valentine or something, and he would secretively marry people because, like, the church, because the king at the time didn't want people to be married because it, like, showed they were happier than him or something really silly, and so he forbidden it.
Like on Trollstice Day, where they can't eat trolls because the king can't eat trolls.
Exactly, and so he was marrying people, and then he was beheaded. And people probably drank beer while he was beheaded.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That would be my guess. That would be my guess.
Yeah, anyways, there's not a lot, for such a big holiday, there's not a lot of set in stone history on this one. But here we go. We did our
We can
best.
just give it to the candy companies then.
The chocolate company.
Yeah.
Hershey's.
Give it to Hershey's. All right. That's going to take us onto a different quest of one of our favorite segments, the Brews and Bites.
Brews and Bites.
Join us on our quest from our latest adventure at Southern Sun.
So much fun.
Pub and brewery for Stout Month. So we did that great big flight. Check it out if you haven't seen it. It'll be at the end of the video. But we had some great appetizers, spicy buffalo cauliflower wings. We had some mint chocolatey notes of the Girl Scout Stout.
Yep.
A hearty poblano chili, and the vibes of the Montserrat Stout.
Yep.
And then the extra fancy grilled cheese, a lot of good cheese in there, and that paired really well with the Korova cream stout.
Oh, so good. That's my favorite of the stouts.
It was so good. So welcome to Brews and Bites. This is our celebration of these pairings that were born out of the fruit of our blind tasting and whatever random appetizers we were going to do that day. But we made it work, and it's the Heart of Stout Month festivities. So we are combining every bite and every sip into this journey, and we want you to join us on it.
Yeah.
So
We had so much
take
fun.
us on. Oh,
Man, we had so much fun. This was a great. It was fun being out in the public. Not in the public, it's a weird, but it's just fun being back out in the community, right? Like, we love the bar, we love doing what we're doing, and it's just been so much fun to jump back into the space and be out and amongst the people of the world and conquer our fears of having a camera in our face.
It's really not that bad.
It gets better, yeah. So the appetizer pairing that you whipped up for us, you flew in, was the cauliflower wings.
The cauli wings.
The freshness and the slight bitterness of the cauliflower enhanced the vegan kolsch tempura batter, which beautifully complemented the minty freshness of the chocolate depths of the Girl Scout. The contrast between the spicy buffalo sauce and the creamy sweetness of the cream stout also offered a really good experience. I actually think I like that one a little bit more, but I'm just not a mint person.
And that's fair. And you talked about that with Talia, right? She wasn't a big fan either, and I was like, I like it, but I really love minty things.
Yeah, I'm just not a mint person. So, but I did love that sweetness of the cream. Really, just kind of helped dilute out the spice was.
For sure.
And it's not like it was so spicy it needed to be diluted. It just helped it balance really, really nicely. So
More complimentary than that contrasting.
Yeah, more fun. That was delicious.
I'm going to talk about Jerry's Vegan Chili. We're in Boulder, Colorado, so they're very conscientious of their food offerings, and we got to respect them for it, and we got to love them for it, right? A total range of flavors. Yep. If you're a meathead, please, they've got that too, but you got to respect this chili. It was so good. It was hearty. It had a spicy profile. Poblano peppers and vegetables, and so we paired that well with the Monstera, the foreign extra stout. So it was dry, toasty character, and it really got after that chili's depth, where it took you in your flavor experience.
Yeah, that was incredible together.
As an alternative option, the Malogo coffee cream stout, smooth coffee notes, also had an elevating effect on the chili as well.
I really liked the dry stout with it.
Yeah, fair. Oh yeah,
they both were good. No, don't get me wrong, but the dry stout, like you said, just popped to that spicy, hearty flavor. It was I got it. It's so good.
Such good.
There's one of those that my favorite meals are when you're like a baked drink, a baked drink, and baked drink, and then you're like, oh god, a whole bottle's gone.
Exactly.
And then outside of the appetizer world, we jumped in with their grilled cheese because who doesn't love a grilled cheese? It's extra fancy grilled cheese,
Grilled cheese.
It was creamy, it was tangy, it had Havarti and goat cheese in it to kind of have a little bit more complex flavors.
Yeah.
And then the sun-dried tomatoes and arugula, which really helped add that spice to it, right?
Yeah.
And that extra acidity from the tomato, so it wasn't just cheese, which I feel like sometimes can get a little bit weighted with the butter, and then you got the cheese, where this really helped pop it out with those extra lighter notes. And that paired really, really nicely with the cream stout again.
Yeah, the Corova. Clearly that was the highlight of the trip for us.
That was just a really good one. The complex and hoppy trickster stout, which was fun. That was the stout that had a bunch of Simcoe hops.
I believe that you're right.
And so basically, on the nose, it smelt a lot like an IPA. You got a lot of the fresh hop aroma out of it, but obviously with the stout flavors,
name,
so it was a trickster.
Yeah, love it.
So having the extra little bitter to kind of cut through some of the richness of the cheese and the butter, where it just helped made that tomato and arugula shine.
For sure.
So,
for sure.
Big fan.
Yeah, this was a good one. Definitely sparked by some rich discoveries thanks to Southern Sun Pub and Ales and Stout Month, right?
So fun.
Man, they truly left us salivating, honestly, about the memory of each one of those bites for sure.
Yeah.
We had our spicy collie wings, we had our complex tango Jerry's chili, and, the Montserrat Stout, right? The Corova really was the shiner in this for us, right?
Yeah.
But you can't overlook that foreign extra stout, just like you were saying. And it's totally a shout out to their to the Mountain Sun. I don't know, umbrella. For their peak. Their inventive spirit for craft beer and cuisine. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, Kevin had an elk or a bison burger. We should have asked which beer.
I never got to. He woofed it down so fast.
That's true.
Otherwise, I would have had a bite.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. You got stuck with all the veggie options because of me, but I appreciate you. Thank you.
Hey, man, I'm into it.
So we hope this adventure inspires you to explore the possibilities of beer pairings and embrace the flights, man. You can get so much going on. Especially if you're an appetizer person and love getting an entree with appetizer. The flights are just way too much fun to pair with. It's a good time. It's a good
100%.
time. Hop Culture put out an article listing their top 12 beer festivals for 2024.
That's right.
Based on the list, we've crafted a must-see guide to the creme de la creme of beer festivals. But we went with 10. We grabbed some of what they had, we grabbed some of what we had, we removed some, we added some. We did a whole mix and match to give you our top 10 beer festivals of this year.
A little mashup, if you will.
A little mashup. So, our top 10 to get ready and explore the craft beer best festivals of the year.
2024. Number 10, Altered States Libation and Arts Festival in Greenville, South Carolina. This is put on by 8th State Brewing Company's festival is a must-visit for stout lovers, probably why we picked it, showcasing some of the most innovative imperial pastry stouts that can transport your taste buds to a whole new level. This one's recognized for crafting some of the finest stouts. The Beer Fest not only features an impressive lineup of breweries, but it also combines great music, making it a super fun sensory experience. Exceptional beer, celebrated breweries, and a vibrant music scene. Super excited about that. Also, haven't been to South Carolina.
Yeah, great mixture. It's a good mixture. Number 9, the Irie Jungle. Did I say that right? Irie Jungle? What? From Trippin' Animals Brewing. This one got us because it led with blasting Guns N' Roses. Welcome to the jungle. Welcome to the jungle. It Liz every time. You had me at hello, so to speak. It's a must-visit festival for a top blend of top-tier breweries, along with Florida's best food pop-ups. So, again, beer and food. Immersive art installations, sprawling indoor and outdoor venue. This Venezuelan-owned brewery's laid-back vibe and reputation for throwing memorable parties made it a standout event for unique, fun-filled experiences of food, art, beer. Man, what else do you want? Culture. Oh, it's so good. What else do you want?
It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Yeah. Number 8 is Barrel and Flow out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Why you should be there. Barrel and Flow stands out for its dedication to inclusivity, earning its spot as the top brew fest by USA Today. That's got to say something. Yeah. It uniquely champions diversity for exclusively showcasing brown and black-owned breweries, along with collaborations that highlight black artists, performances, businesses. It not only celebrates craft beer, but it also enriches the experience with culture and community. And it has a mission of keep black arts on tap, which is pretty awesome. Yeah. And excited to get that one on the list.
Yeah,
sure.
That's fantastic. Number 7, where we will be in a couple of weeks, maybe a few weeks is a better way to say it, is Collab Fest in Westminster, Colorado. Brought on by the Colorado's Brewers Guild, the Collaboration Fest is unique for celebrating teamwork and creativity, bringing together over 165 of Colorado's finest breweries to craft over 120 unique beers, specifically just for this festival.
Insane.
Yeah, esteemed with the brewing community, it's a favorite among local brewers, including innovative partnerships and one-of-a-kind beers that highlight the spirit and talent of the craft beer scene here. The festival not only showcases collaborative nature, but also offers attendees an unparalleled tasting experience.
Pretty awesome.
Super cool. A lot of fun, a lot of small brew. Yeah. Small batch barrels, you get a lot of really unique. I feel like this is a time for brewers to really showcase how weird they want to get with their beers.
Get weird, people.
Get weird.
It's fun. They even shouted me back out on Facebook. I was pretty pumped about that. I told them I was super excited to go, and they're like, us too, Elizabeth House. And I was like, woo. You make a girl feel wanted. All right, next up, number 6 is the Fuller's Ball in Fargo, North Dakota.
Fargo.
Hosted by Drecker.
Up in the north there, right?
In the north there. There I was fishing with my fishing pole, drinking beer, and there I was.
The Fuller's with the ball?
That's right. Fuller's Ball. Ballers.
Yeah, missed it.
All right.
It's a hard one.
This one has a wild nature of its own.
Okay.
Yeah, it's renowned for its fruited sours.
Okay.
Wild yeast fruited sours. You got me there. So this is returning for its second year in North Dakota. It's 40 of Drecker's weirdest pals to surprise and please your palate. It's a smaller scale extreme beer fest with an eclectic mix of breweries like Brewing Project and Wildworks. Hey, we know that name. It's supposed to be pretty unforgettable.
Cool. That sounds like a great time.
Yeah.
Number 5. Cabin Fever Winter Festival in Warwick, New York.
Warwick.
What I said? Warwick?
Mm-hmm. I just wanted to say it.
Oh, I said it wrong. Drowned Lands Brewing Cabin Fever Festival. It's a big one.
Right.
They're not just about enjoying some of the best beers in the country, like the Deep Creek IPA. It's an invitation to embrace the winter's chill and style.
We like style.
Style. At their scenic New York property, attendees can gather around a fire pit, enjoy s'mores, exploring a fantastic tap list celebrating the winter and promise exceptional beer releases. Last year's event sold out, making early planning essential for this unique cold weather beer fest. I'm guessing there are a lot of big beers.
Yeah, big beers. Winter. Drowned Lands. And what was it? Deep Creek.
Deep Creek IPA. I'm guessing there's a lot of big beers.
It's got to be. This one was for you. Number 4 is Free the Whales in Las Vegas, Nevada, because What's a better place to save whales than in the desert?
Obviously, they have a large whale extinction there, so you got to save them.
Yeah, well, there you go. This was put on by a fellow named Chris Marino as his birthday bash with Jay Wakefield. It showcases some rare beers from their personal collection. It started as a bottle share, turned out into a big party. Save the whales. It's a must-attend festival. It's Vegas. It's desert. It's a good time. There's hard-to-find beers. It's heading into its 9th year, if that doesn't impress you. So it's doing well. It's expanding.
I bet that's so much fun.
It's supposed to be pretty good. It's supposed to be an unforgettable beer party.
Fair.
Party.
Number 3 on our list is Firestone Walker's Invitational Beer Fest.
That's right.
Firestone Walker, gold standard. I'm not going to lie. I love 805. I love it. I'm not gonna lie. I also just like Firestone Walker. There's very few of their beers I dislike. So they're gold standard, not only in their beers, but also for their beer festivals. And they're distinguished because of their brewmaster, Matt, I don't know how to say his last name, curated and selected of global breweries. So this is kind of like his, I don't know, like GOAT list of breweries, and he brings them in, right? Attendees get an exclusive taste of innovative brews from both rising international stars and established domestic ones. Like New Zealand's Garage Project. In Italy's, again, I cannot pronounce it because Liz hates me. And actually, Garage Project, I think I went to one of those in Barcelona.
I mean, it could be.
I have to double check that, but I think I have been. The festival is celebrated for its unique blend of discovery, where beer enthusiasts can explore rare finds and enjoy a vibrant atmosphere with all the bonuses of course, exceptional food, exceptional beer, all the goodness.
Included in the ticket. Crushing it.
Yeah.
All right, number 2, and it only made number 2, but it's the Great American Beer Festival.
Bringing it back to Colorado.
Denver, Colorado. Got 2 on this list. No surprise. We're biased.
Yeah, but also,
it's GABF.
It's not wrong.
That's right. It's not just a beer festival. It's an institution in the American craft beer scene. It brings together the largest collection of U.S. beers, served in a public tasting event alongside a competition judged by industry peers. We're trying to get on that list, working hard, working our way up. This festival really does showcase the best brewers from all over the country.
Okay.
It's a great spot as an attendee to get an opportunity to taste a wide variety of beers. If you don't remember how to attend a beer festival based on this list, check out the top 10 list from last week's episode on top 10 tips on how to attend a beer festival.
Yeah. If of any beer festival,
it's a good one.
GABF is the one to follow. The 2 main rules of drink water, your rinse cup water.
Don't drive.
Only, I guess 3 rules. Don't drive, and don't worry about FOMO. You're never going to get through all the beers. Like, of all the festivals, that's the one you're not going to hit every beer. There's like 5,000 beers or something stupid there. Yeah. Anyways, we're going to wrap this into number 1, and it probably is not a surprise. It's Oktoberfest, man. Munich, Germany.
That's right.
We've been there a couple times. It's a great time. Again, it's an obvious best choice. It's the largest beer festival in the world, combining with a full-fledged freaking fair. You got carnival rides, you got games. It's so much fun. There's so much food going on. You got millions of visitors from around the world to celebrate the Bavarian culture. And again, incredible food. Oh, it's so good.
You can't go wrong.
You can't go wrong. You get a wide variety of beers served. I'm going to disagree with that. There's like 3 beers served you get. You get a Hellas, you get an Oktoberfest, maybe a dark, and then an NA. That's all you get.
There's a Rattler.
There is sometimes a Rattler. There is sometimes
There's
a Rattler.
NA.
I had NA in there.
Yeah, all right. Well.
Then you get a chicken. You get a pretzel, a chicken, and a beer. That's it. It's just they're just slinging out beer.
Knuckle.
It's crazy.
The pork knuckle's pretty good.
Yeah, that is a real thing too. And really, it's important and it's iconic because it comes in a stein. And there's just not a lot of beer fests. Could also probably come in a stein if you ask nice enough.
I'm sure it ends up there eventually.
Yeah, I mean, if you're into beer, it's a bucket list event. You got to make it at some point. It's so much fun. It's a great adventure. You don't have to get blackout drunk. You just get to try some really, really incredible beers. And around the city is where you're really going to dive into that variety of just so many different unique flavors, styles, traditions. Some some of the oldest breweries in the world are right within nearly walking distance of that downtown.
Or a train ride.
Probably a train ride, but it's an incredible time.
Yep.
Incredible experience.
Make it happen.
Yep.
Put it on the list.
Yep.
All right, that's going to do it for today. Super fun Sipisode this week. We went through a gamified journey through Someplace Else Brewery. Get here if you haven't been here. Pinified, I like that. Even better. From there to the intimate art of pouring to the bold voices championing diversity and culinary creativity. Yeah. We really do hope that this, it sparks a thirst of knowledge for you and an adventure, if anything, because it's pretty excited for us. We like bringing it to you.
We do, very much so. Remember, whether it's mastering the pour, exploring the vibrant tapestry of Stout Month, or celebrating people making a big difference in the space, there's always new horizon and craft beer universe waiting to be discovered. We're doing our best to get it to you every single week, but let us know what you discover. And thank you for all the enthusiasts that keep following us week after week, and new followers we're getting, people that are excited to be sitting here with us today, and we appreciate all your support.
Hell yeah. Cheers.
Over and over. Mwah. Love you guys all. Till next week. Buddy by Beer Podcast.
Cheers.
We got sparkle stickers, guys. We don't have sparkle stickers.